Yeah, I believe we don't need a manager. You know, Dana White can call me and ask me to fight anybody. I'm not going to turn it down. I'm not going to really negotiate nothing. I'm just say yeah, no matter who it is. So I feel like you don't need a manager.
Absolutely need a manager still. If we lose our managers, then we're under complete control of the UFC. I mean, if you don't, managers are kind of a funnel for us, regardless of how you look at it. Because if you ask a fighter who wants to fight somebody, it's going to be yes. If you're a real fighter, you know, you're going to say yes to anybody. So your career is not going to kind of build or grow on it. So you need a manager to kind of guide that and kind of, with him and the matchmakers, like kind of working at building your career. I'm not just getting you in there and throwing you out. I mean, perfect example, Kyle Bradley came in, and I don't know if he had a manager or not at the time, but he came in and had two just great, tough dudes to fight. You know, it was Lytle and Joe Lozo, I think, and 2 fights in a row, and two and done. That's just not a good career choice, you know. Now, yeah, and they're important. They play a role. Like mine's Robert Rivetta, who's awesome, just a great guy, and I trust him with everything. You know, he can handle whatever he wants. I trust him. He's a good guy, but you need him.
You know, I've had the same manager since I was 19 years old, maybe, and a lot of big fights with him, and I feel like he's part of my, everybody's different, but I feel like he's part of my camp and part of my fight team, and I need him, He's my buddy and a good friend, and he's done a lot for me, so he's not going anywhere. And I don't know, I'm talking about Robert Rivetta, I don't know if any of you guys know him. Good guy.
Well, I have a manager, and I used to have agents that worked on sponsorship, so that will completely eliminate, the need for an agent unless you're doing some other outside deals, which I encourage everybody to do, especially the guys that only have a couple fights in the UFC. I'm one of the lucky guys. This will be my 17th UFC fight, so I'm falling into that upper tier of fighter. I've been around a long time, taken a lot of licks in the octagon, so I'm being rewarded for that. It is tough. If you're only getting a couple grand for sponsorship for a fight, that's not even covering your travel to bring your corners out. So the guys will have to figure out how to generate some more income. But for me, I'm one of the lucky ones that the Reebok deal really worked out well.
My manager doesn't charge me a dime. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's another situation where it is what it is. I'm here in this company, and I'm not one to complain. My motto is no complaints. Take everything in full stride and roll with it. So hopefully it benefits me. I know if I keep winning fights and go for title shots that I'll get paid. So that's what it is.
I mean, it's always good to have that some sort of agent, to deal with all the business side and the matchup sides and stuff like that. I mean, you have a choice to pick or choose to fight. You say yes or no, or you can or you can't. So the whole Reebok deal, it's hard to say until I get a check in my hand. Once I get that check, who knows? They can say one thing and it can be more. They can say more and it can be less. We're not really sure, so we'll see. But I definitely, I'm taking a hit from what I'm looking at. My sponsors really take care of me. Not after the fight. They take care of me during training camp. They pay my bills during training camp, and they pay me after. So it's a big deal for me. Me being the position I'm in, I'm not a champion yet or fighting for a belt, so it's different. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially, and Dana White keeps saying we could still get, sponsors outside of the UFC, and just kind of like the NFL players do. You still get sponsors. Just can't wear them at press conferences or something like that. So I still think there's we're gonna work it out and we'll see how things play out. But I think there's still room for managers, So they're gonna have to work a lot harder, I think so. But that's we'll see.
I do not have a manager anymore, and it's primarily because of this. I don't feel that. I mean, really, if you have a big enough brand, you can sell yourself. I've landed my own biggest sponsors last couple of fights, and I feel that we don't make enough to break down parts of the kitty. And if I'm breaking down parts of the kitty, and then like on top of that, they want cuts of night bonuses and everything else and stuff that you work way too hard for, and then you're already giving out so many different percentages. Well, I'm not really interested in that, man. I'd rather do it myself, earn my own money. I might lose out on a couple of things on the short end, but my personality will get him back on the back end.
I don't know. I mean, everybody's different. I think it definitely cuts down what the manager is able to do with that deal, and doesn't leave much room for anything for him to do. So, we'll see what happens. I'm still waiting to see how it'll work. So.
The Reebok deal and overall, I haven't said very much because, I mean, there's two sides of this. I mean, there's a good thing in the future for overall making the sport more professional, and at the downside, as of right now, there's obviously fighters taking hit out of money. So that's really a bummer. I mean, for me and for everybody, nobody wants to see that happen. But I've been in a situation where I was with an organization that forced me to use uniforms and things of that nature, so I'm kind of like used to it in a sense. And these uniforms hopefully can be a lot cooler anyway, so it's a plus. And there is an opportunity to make a lot more money than we did. I caught pennies during my gig with the other organizations, so it's better for us overall. I think the better you do and the more you fight and the better, bigger star you become, you'll make the money. So that's the big thing. But it looks a lot harder for the guys coming into it. As far as managers and things of that nature, we're all different. I mean, I'm in a situation where you said I'm a gym owner. I manage fighters. I do a lot of things. So I've learned the ropes because I've been doing this for so long, 15 plus years in this industry. So I've kind of learned to be a jack of all trades. So it's still in those things where you still want someone to negotiate certain things for you, though. So if you're going to go and sit down and talk to a major organization to make a deal, it's kind of tough to be on your own sometimes. As far as sponsorships and stuff, there's a lot less for managers to bring to the table. So they really got to negotiate hard and get these guys some good fights, because I think they are going to be alleviated, especially from the higher ranked guys. They're going to start kind of cutting off the managers, because it is what it is. The big organization is going to say, this is what you're getting. We don't care who negotiates. So then why am I paying somebody 20%? But the lower tier guys, I think they need the help. It's really tough. Each guy's gonna have to find this on his own. But I think they should really start getting more educated about taking care of themselves and learning how to do this. I think in the overall, fighters need to become what I am, kind of a jack of all trades, and learn more about the industry that they want to be a professional in.